Hey everyone, so today I'm going to teach you how to make eggplant parmesan. This is a super easy dish and it doesn't take long at all. So first of all, we're going to start out with our eggplant and we're going to wash it very thoroughly, especially if you're going to keep the skin on it like I did. Now depending on your preference, you're going to cut it in thicker or thinner slices. I chose to do in thicker slices, but make sure to adjust your time setting for the whole dish in the oven if you decide to do this, because it takes a little bit longer. So after we've cut all of our pieces of eggplant, we're going to want to lightly salt each piece for a little bit more seasoning. And then when you put the oil in the pan, make sure you only put enough to cover about half of the piece of the eggplant. So starting with the breading, we're going to put out a cup of flour. We're going to start with 2 eggs. I ended up using 3 eggs throughout my process, but it's better to start out with a little bit less because we don't want to waste our ingredients. So you're going to want to beat those 2 eggs together, and after you're done beating them and they're mixed very well, you want to go ahead and just put it in your plate. After you've put your eggs in your plate, you want to get your breadcrumbs. I used Italian seasoned breadcrumbs to add a little bit more flavor. I started out with 1 cup, even though I used just about the whole batch. So starting out with the process of breading these eggplant pieces, you want to start out with the flour and you want to coat every single surface of the eggplant and make sure to shake that off pretty well. That's so it doesn't get clumpy in the eggs. Next, you're going to want to dip your eggplant in the eggs, and then after that you're going to put it in the breadcrumbs and coat it on each side. Now don't be worried if you can't get the breadcrumbs on this side of the skin, because it usually doesn't stick anyways. But if you want breadcrumbs on every single side, go ahead when you're washing the eggplant, go ahead and cut off the skin before you cut the slices. So after you bread all your piece of eggplant, go ahead and put it in the hot oil. Now make sure not to overcrowd your pan, but put enough pieces out so everything cooks thoroughly. And after you've got all your pieces in, watch the time and turn when they're lightly browned. After they're browned, you're going to want to put them on a plate and go ahead and get your dish out and start putting a layer of marinara sauce on it. Then after that layer of marinara sauce, you're going to put your eggplant and then another layer of marinara and cheese, and keep repeating that process until you get to your last layer of eggplant, and then top it with marinara and cheese. Then you're going to put it in the oven at 375, but before that, put a piece of foil on it, and after 20 minutes is gone, take the foil off and do it for 10 more minutes. Again, that was at 375 and for 30 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed this little cooking lesson with me, learning how to cook eggplant parmesan. Bye, fairies.